You are amazing. I promised him I would not tell that he's 97 years old. I promised. I'll tell you, he's 100% sharp. He's 100% sharp. I know a 78-year-old that's not so sharp, and he's 97.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Joe Biden. Have you guys seen him lately? I mean, seriously, have you seen him? Have you seen him out there on the so-called campaign trail? Have you seen him leave the basement and give these talks? He actually today answered some questions from the media. I was shocked. You know, I figured he would go out there in Delaware, where he's from, where he lives, and just give a few words with his suit on and just leave like he did the other day. I figured he would do that, but he actually stopped and answered a few questions. Now, this was really sad, okay? The question and answer section was really sad, but what was also sad was just him talking in general, all right? The talk today was sad, and then the previous talk was sad as well. It's just sad overall, and it's really ridiculous for the Democratic Party to have that man out there knowing he's pretty much got one foot in the grave. He's halfway dead, if not all the way dead. You're talking about Weekend at Bernie's right in front of your face. And before I go any further, let's go ahead and roll two clips, or actually a few clips. You're just going to see him talking and not making much sense. You're going to see what I'm talking about, and you're going to feel how I feel if you have not seen it or felt it yet. After we get done watching those, I'll come back. I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years. And stop your boast about never being seen at what you can do anything. You always talk about your ability to negotiate.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, this is ridiculous. Democratic Party, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Why is this man out there? He's 77 years old, going on 1,077. Okay, he is way too old and way too out of it to be out there on the campaign trail. I've said it over and over again, but here's some more evidence of it. Here's more evidence. He does not know what's going on. He's messing up reading, just real basic reading and answering questions. He's out of it. He looks exhausted and he's not really done much. Okay, this is not a regular campaign season. This is not like 2016 where Trump was doing 2 or 3 rallies in a day. Okay, this is not that. Biden is barely leaving his house. The meeting or press conference, whatever you want to call it, from today was in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where he lives. He probably got on this suit and went down the street to do this from his house. So he did not travel a long way away. This is not what's going on here. He was at home basically doing this. So why does he look like this? Why does he look so tired? Why does he look so exhausted? Why does he sound so tired and exhausted and out of it? It's because he is tired and exhausted and out of it because he's elderly, he's getting up there in age, and he really shouldn't be out there. This is really cruel. And the questions weren't even really difficult questions. I got excited when I saw the question. I'm like, okay, we getting some questions. We'll kind of see how quick he is on his feet or not quick on his feet. We'll see that. But the questions are pretty soft. I was reading some of the comments on Twitter, and somebody said that he was getting softballs, but he was bunting. He was bunting softballs. Like, he could take a softball, knock it out of the park, and be like Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, but he just wasn't doing it. Because he can't do it. He was barely even able to speak. He was barely even able to keep his energy level up. It's because he is not there all the way. This is really clear. And I'm seeing stories from Drudge of all places. Well, that's not surprising anymore. They used to be kind of conservative, but they're not anymore. But anyway, I'm seeing stories on Drudge talking about Trump had many strokes of Walter Reed and Mike Pence was on call because they might put Trump under anesthesia. Just silly stuff, right? Trump denied it. They're talking about Trump being physically unable to carry on. There's rumors of him being physically unable to carry on from many strokes. There's no evidence of him having any kind of, physical or medical distress. But with Joe Biden, we see it every single day. And for some reason, he has raised like a record-breaking amount in August. I think it might have been $320 to $360 million. So a record-breaking amount. Now, my question would be how? He's not doing any campaigning. And when he does campaign, when you do see him on TV, he looks horrible. Horrible. Where'd the money come from? I'm thinking you're getting a lot of that BLM money in there. Oh, it's grassroots donations. Well, how much of the monies that come from quote unquote grassroots got funneled into a big fund and then given to Biden? So prime example, BLM, right? Black Lives Matter. Their money comes through a payment processor called ActBlue. Now, ActBlue is what all the other Democrats use to fundraise. They get their payments processed through ActBlue, and in return for the processing, they take a fee over at ActBlue. And ActBlue itself as a company donates to Democrats. That's kind of how it works. It's kind of like a little money laundering, but not quite. They give money to Democrats. So if you give money to BLM because you think that George Floyd shouldn't have died and all this and that, you think that the knee on the neck killed him, although this man is 6'5", 280 pounds, you think that man's knee killed him. If you believe that and you gave a bunch of money to BLM, it goes through ActBlue, and then ActBlue gets all the monies from all these different people, and then they give a bunch of money to Joe Biden. Now, does that particular lump sum count as a quote unquote grassroots payment? I wonder how many people gave to Joe Biden because they're sympathetic towards the black issues, black causes, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Okay. What I'm getting at here, the point that I'm making here is that a lot of the death, the chaos and destruction on the streets has contributed to Joe Biden's campaign. For what reason? A logical reason there is none, obviously. But they think that if they give to Joe Biden, that it'll be over with because it's Trump's fault. So Trump is the reason why you got cities on fire in Democrat areas. And once you go out there to these quote unquote peaceful protests, really riots, they're saying F Trump, I hate Trump, orange man bad, all this and that. So they're saying all that out there, but somehow it was Donald Trump's fault. Got it. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. That's probably where the monies are coming from for Joe Biden's campaign because it's not him. This guy just is not really there. And the polls are starting to shrink. Like I said before, the polls, you can't take them that seriously, take them with a grain of salt, but they do mean a little bit. And they look better for Trump than they did in 2016. And he was able to win in 2016. And we've not come to the debates yet. And we all know that it's going to be a wrap in those debates because Joe Biden may be able to read at a okay level. When I say okay, I mean that on a Joe Biden scale. All right. Being able to read without totally getting lost in your thoughts is fantastic for Joe Biden. And he did get lost a few times in his thoughts over the past few days here. So that's why I say it's okay. But when it comes time for those debates, man, it's going to be a dumpster fire of epic proportions. You're going to see the dumpster fire. If it's in D.C., you'll see it from all the way in Singapore, all the way in Tokyo. You'll see it all the way around the world. It'd be like a big smoke signal for the entire galaxy to see. It'd be ridiculous because Joe Biden is not there. Everybody knows it. If you are just looking at it from a non-biased point of view, just being honest, nobody can deny that. And like I said, this is really cruel. This should be considered elder abuse to have this man out there, even though we all know he doesn't know what's going on and where he's at or who he is or what's happening. He's reading from a teleprompter. He's reading from scripts. But when you're talking about being live and out there for an extended period of time, half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, he's going to start to break down and you're going to see it. I think the first debates are September the 19th. And for wrong about the date, let me know in the comments below. Chris Wallace from Fox News is going to be there. That'd be interesting. I want to see if he's going to be on Joe Biden's side or Trump's side or what. And they're talking about, oh, we got to have a fact checker. A fact checker? Having a moderator, that makes sense. But a fact checker, the point of a moderator is to present the question. And if you're going way too long beyond your time, you're giving a whole dissertation when all they asked for was a 1 minute response. They cut you off and then get to the next person and keep things moving. A fact checker, that'll just be somebody that helps Joe Biden. Okay, because what are you going to do? Just be in front of your computer Googling? And then what source is going to be good versus a non? You're going to be looking at CNN and Washington Post, Huffington Post for sources, for information. It doesn't make much sense to me. As I close, I want to say this. Joe Biden should not be out there. I think that we all see it. The videos prove it. And it's really a shame. He should be able just to go hang out with his grandkids if he has. I'm sure he has grandkids. Hang out with his kids, grandkids, and enjoy his life. Okay, that's what John McCain should have been doing, but that's a different story. I digress. My whole point is that running for president right now, that's not really the wave. I'm seeing some artwork from the DNC with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, with Kamala Harris in the front. And it's kind of like a message, little dog whistle to me, saying it's not going to be Joe Biden to be the president. It'll be Kamala Harris. And is that who you want to be the president? It's weird, as I close through this time, how the Democrats say that they want a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ticket, especially the far leftists, when Kamala Harris was a top cop in California as their attorney general, and Joe Biden wrote a 1994 crime bill. It's really interesting to see how that works. You know, double standards are pretty much par for the course. If not for double standards, they would have no standards. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Joe Biden is competent? Can he become the president? Can he lead effectively, considering his current mental state? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or can he not lead effectively? Will he get the chance to lead? He raised a lot of money, that's fine, but who's going to vote for this guy in reality? You get big money, people that have big money, but that's not going to be a reflection of the entire electorate. It's just not. You're trying to be more of a centered kind of guy now and get more towards, appealing to the average everyday voter. But people are starting to see this guy and they're saying, well, what's going on here? Are you dead, sir? Wake up, please. And then they're seeing what's happening with these cities, all the riots that are going on. They realize that Biden is just now speaking out against it, but Trump has been speaking out against it from the very beginning. And he was doing the same thing back when he was running for president back in 2015, 2016. This is consistent for Trump. It's not consistent for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, and who, by the way, offered to bail out people that got arrested during the whole melee, during all the so-called protests, really riots and anarchist action. People see what's going on and they're not amused by what's happening. And they looking at Joe Biden, and what they see is a man that is not the man they knew before. If they liked Barack Obama and Joe Biden together, they can see that Barack Obama is the same guy, but Joe Biden is not. So when it comes time to vote, they make a decision, and it's going to be based on what they see from each candidate and how each candidate performs. And judging by the way Biden's been performing over the past few days, that will not be improving anytime soon before the election. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.